while others pronounce the word MonaVie. For me, it will always be MonaVie. The good life, or tree of life, is what the word means. However, I take liberty and choose to say that MonaVie means a more meaningful life. For in every sense, it has provided me and many others more meaning in all aspects of life. I believe I'm a better person because of MonaVie. That is significant to me. Can any of us desire anything more than to be involved in a community that can positively impact every area of our lives? MonaVie is a blessing. I can't think of MonaVie without thinking of my partners, Randy and Henry. We've been through heaven and hell these last 8+ years since MonaVie launched in 2005. We've seen the top of the mountain as well as the valleys. Thank you, Randy and Henry. Even though at times we've had disagreements, I love you both. But in the deepest crevices of my soul, MonaVie to me is a story of faith and redemption. For me personally, it's a love story between me and Carrie and our God. Today I choose to be very personal with you and hope you will accept my words in the spirit intended. I share out of love and an obligation and for no other reason. Our story started in 2003 when we said, I do, on a snowy April day in Salt Lake City. From 1997 until 2003, I was discouraged and depressed. I didn't realize how depressed I really was during those years until I look back now with perspective. I had helped build a successful company in the 1990s, while at the same time losing my marriage. I was climbing the ladder of what I thought was success, but I failed at the most important thing, being a husband. MonaVie is a story of redemption for me, because God gave me a second chance and showed me that if He could love a soul so rebellious and proud as mine and bring me to my knees, He is indeed a God of miracles. And He hasn't stopped conversing with His children even today. With our vows completed, Carrie and I brought our 9 children together. It was our very own his and hers family, and with the addition of Boo and Dane, it became a his and hers and ours. With 11 children and 3 grandchildren and another on the way, our family continues to grow. A few months after we got married, the reality of trying to provide for all these children began causing me great anxiety. Carrie had worked hard to become a pilot and had a good job, but we both wanted her to be by my side rather than her and me flying all over the country separately. So she resigned her position and, as she states, became right seat to me rather than right seat in an aircraft. Within a year of marriage, I had depleted my savings. We were 30 days away from being completely and financially bankrupt. I'd promised her the sun and the moon and the stars, and she must have started wondering if I meant the bills and the stress and the concerns instead. In October 2004, after I'd been sufficiently stripped of pride and ego, I finally fell to my knees with Carrie, and together we prayed more earnestly than we'd ever prayed in our lives. The prayer went something like this: Dear God, you brought us together. We need your help. We have 8 living children to feed, and we are weeks away from being completely out of money. Please, God, we have made our share of mistakes in life, but we believe you brought us together for another chance at life, to finish strong and with honor. We promise that if you'll send help, we will be faithful to your will, whatever that might be. Everywhere we go, we will attempt to bring honor to you and serve you to the best of our abilities. In this prayer, I made some additional promises to God and to Carrie. I promised that we would always give back. In doing so, I asked that God send His best to us to surround our lives with exceptional people. I wanted Carrie to be around only the best. My memory may not be completely accurate on this, but as I remember, it was 7 days later that a good friend of mine, Mark Ewell, called me and introduced me to the acai berry. The number 7 is significant because biblically is the perfect number, and in this case, the timing of his call and what transpired in the next 3 months couldn't have been more perfectly orchestrated. Roughly 90 days later, on January 5th, 2005, MonaVie was born. At our very first meeting, like we will do during this convention, we raised money for those who were less fortunate. We did so because I'd promised we would always give back, and also it was in our hearts to do so. And that goes for me, Carrie, Randy, Henry, and the MonaVie family. At that meeting, I stood and talked about how as founder of MonaVie, my wife and I, and the company would espouse the values of putting God number 1 in our lives, our families second, and our business of MonaVie third. We've always attempted to do so. As I look back over these last 9 years, as founders, employees, and distributors, we've collectively donated millions of dollars to the More Project to help those who are less fortunate. Sergio and the More Project was another tender mercy from God, and we've attempted to follow what we felt we were called to do. Every time we visit Brazil, both my heart and Carrie's heart breaks as we meet many of these children. We've been deeply moved as we've walked the favelas, as have those of you who have participated in the More Project excursions. We've wept as several of our More Project kids have passed away over the years because of violence. When Pastor Wendell's son was killed, it affected Carrie and I deeply, as it probably affected you. Yet just as the man on the beach throwing starfish into the sea, we forge ahead, helping one person at a time. Are we making a difference? I believe we are, and more importantly to me, I believe we are honoring God. For he has said, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, ye have done it unto me. Through MonaVie, I've learned to love deeper than I've ever loved. Carrie and I have been blessed to love so many who are no longer with us. I will never forget the trip to St. Jude's Hospital to visit with Lily, along with the Calbs and the Roushes. If there were others with us, I apologize. I'm desperately waiting for a memory product to come out. After all, I am 54, as Mauricio aptly stated. Lily has since gone back home, where she is no longer plagued with disease and death. A few months ago, we were blessed to fly with Katie to Arizona, as Henry had a few weeks earlier, to visit with Ruth Van Buren, who has likewise gone back home. These precious souls and so many others that we've met through the years have turned the tables on us, as in the end, we were the ones who were blessed as we spent time with them. We've learned that it's so true that you love deepest those you serve. We are so grateful for all the choice experiences we've had along this journey. And we are so grateful to hear the stories of how you've reached out and helped others who have heavy hearts. There is no more important work in this life than serving others in need, which encompasses all of us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the service and love to others that you share and the comfort you provide them in their greatest time of need. I asked God to send his very best to us, and he has. My heart is so tender to the MonaVie family all over the world who are givers and who have come along with us on this journey. From America to Poland, where we were blessed to meet a precious Ruby executive who is working diligently to provide for her daughter after the murder of her husband. From Brazil to Australia, where Val and Helen reside, and have shown what's possible to accomplish in your 70s, after many in the world believe you're washed up. From Malaysia to Korea to Japan, where we were crushed with love and admiration on that day when we traveled to Sendai, where we were blessed to serve meals with our Japanese leadership to hundreds who were left homeless after the tsunami just days earlier. These and many more similar experiences caused me to declare that God has done what I asked him to do. He has indeed sent me and Carrie his best. He surrounded us with givers, not takers, lifters, not leaners. I don't know the words in the English language that would allow me to articulate the smallest part of my heart for the way in which you've inspired me through the years. Along the journey, my heart has been broken more than once, and Carrie and I have spent many long hours in bed as some of our associations came to an end, and some chose to leave MonaVie for whatever reason. The human side of me has gotten upset at times, and there have been times when I felt betrayed. However, like everything else in life, things happen for a reason, and there is a time and a season for all things. I now try to simply be grateful for all who have laid one brick or 1,000 bricks on the foundation of MonaVie. If they were here today, I would ask them to let their bricks remain, rather than trying to destroy those bricks for those who desire to remain on the MonaVie journey and for those who will follow after us. Who am I to cast aspersion or to begrudge someone when I have made poor, foolish, and painful choices throughout my life? Instead, if they were here today, I would hug them and thank them and wish them well. If you ever see me or hear me saying anything that is less than positive of anyone, please bring it to my attention. It's not right to do so, and I apologize to anyone within the sound of my voice for whom I've offended, except for when I told Mauricio that the Red Sox are far superior to the For that, I don't apologize. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear. Yes, Carrie and I made some promises to each other and to God. I've learned you can't outgive, you can't outserve, and you can't outperform God. He is my best friend. He is my rock. He is my life. He knows that my greatest desire is to simply do what he wants me to do and to go where he wants me to go. If his desire is for me to remain at MonaVie helping in some small way, I shall be here. When he says, "Come follow me," I believe he knows that I will try to be the first in line. So with that stated, I want to leave you today with something that I hope will bless your life. I want to share with you what I view are the most important things I have learned not only in these last almost 9 years, but in my 54 years of living. I've learned that life can be scary, but as we choose good mentors, have faith, and learn to overcome our personal fears, we realize that we are equal to the task regardless of our fears and insecurities. I saw a video a few months ago that I think portrays this, the agony and the fear and the concern and the doubt, and how that is so paralyzing if we allow it to do so, to paralyze us in our tracks. But life, if you dare to live at large, can be amazing. Let's watch this little video.
I'll be fine. I'll do it. Well, here goes something, I guess. Okay, you can do this. I'm gonna jump.
You got it.
Whoa, my ski's slipping off.
Just remember, never snowplow, okay?
No snow plows.
Keep it straight, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You can go to 20.
Straight. Do you go faster on the in run?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Is it any steeper, do you think? Not much?
Same steepness, it's just longer.
Well, just longer. Just longer. Just a bigger 20, that's all.
Yep. Have
It's a
fun.
bigger 20. Go ahead. You got it. I got it. Okay. Here. The longer you wait, you'll be more scared. I go. That's the only thing, it's so fun! Huh? 60 seems like nothing now. Woo!
At the end of our lives, we don't want to still be standing on top of the ski hill, jump frozen because of fear. We want to look back and say, woo! We did it. I did it. I overcame through faith, and I lived life to the fullest. Perhaps most importantly in my life, I'm really trying to no longer make it about me. I tried to go from living on me planet, as Brian Regan would call it, to living on his planet instead. I've learned that all things in life are easier and better, not that they'll ever be perfect, and not that I won't continue to make tons of mistakes, but things go better for me when I surrender myself. I've learned to ask God to be near me. I speak to him as a friend speaks to a friend. And I speak to him throughout the day. I've learned to go to him with specific requests rather than general things. I've asked him for things in return. I've told him what I was willing to do on my end. I view my life as not only a gift from God, but a partnership with God. I've learned that as I quiet the noise of life, I can better feel him moving in my life. Be aware of the noise in your lives. Be intimately aware of how you are spending your precious time. And do all in your power to remove the noise from your life and attempt to go from doing good things to doing the most important things. I've learned that I let myself and others down almost daily, but that God is ever patient with me and all of us. But at least I'm aware and I'm committed to improving. We are imperfect beings, and we shouldn't expect ourselves or others to be perfect. People will let you down, and it will seem as though the world is conspiring against you at times. But I've personally learned that God never has, nor will he ever let me or any of you down. We may not understand, because our eyes are not yet fully opened, why things turn out a certain way. But in time, our eyes will be fully open. I always have said that the N in MonaVie stands for the North Star. But I've learned that God is the true North Star. And we would be wise in a world of change to look to him. I've learned that getting recognized as National Entrepreneur of the Year and having MonaVie recognized as the fastest growing company in Utah over a 5-year period, and having accolades in Inc. magazine, and having professional athletes drinking our products on a national stage can be pretty heady stuff, and that the world is your oyster when you're soaring. I've also learned how fleeting all these shallow things really are. Conversely, I've learned that when the inevitable winds of change occur and you face a headwind, many so-called friends, or many who promised they would never leave your side, will in fact leave you. They just will, and I've stopped fretting over the reasons why. Just like the birds eat some of the seeds that are planted, we can forever ask ourselves why that happens. Or we can nurture and prune and eventually have a bounteous harvest with the seeds that take root and grow to produce fruit. But when you feel as though the world has left you, here's the really good news: God didn't. The key is to remember God in the tailwind as well as the headwind. And as you do so, you will realize that he will continue to remember you. I've learned that the world is an amazing place, and that regardless of race or religion, the vast majority of people in the world want to do good, but simply lack someone or something to follow. They are confused because life is confusing. But the tens of thousands of people I've seen come up to stages like this to donate a baht, a yen, a pound, a peso, or $1 or more have reminded me that we all come from the same source of light and knowledge. We are offspring of God who created us, and whether you believe it or not, I believe, more than I believe I'm standing here right now, that God loves you, and you are His greatest dream. He misses you. He misses you even more than you miss Him. He's aware of you, your struggles, and the challenges you face being separated from Him. His eye is constantly on you, even now. He has and will continue sending His very best to minister to you throughout your life until the time He calls you home. I've seen many of the amazing parts of the world, and in discovering these places, my heart has soared. With Carrie's, as our breath has been taken away looking out over the Swiss Alps, Iguazu Falls, the Cliffs of Moher, the glaciers in Alaska, Mars Hill in Athens, and so many other amazing places. And what's more, we've been able to experience these places with our children and many of you. Yes, I've learned that the world is beautiful and it's available for all of us to enjoy and experience. I've learned that many people, when they meet me and Carrie, believe that she's my daughter. I've also learned that when people see me with Boo and Dane, they believe I am their grandfather. When a woman now says to me, "Oh, how nice it must be to spend time with your grandchildren," I simply reply, "They are actually my children. So, when is your baby due?" Then they clearly understand how piercing to the core words truly can be. I'm just kidding. I really have never done that, although I have thought about it, and I still not. By the way, today is Dane's 8th birthday, and we said, "You want to come with us to the convention, or would you rather go to school?" And he said, "I want to go to school." He is his mother's son. I've learned that you get what you focus on in life, and I also believe that because of the distractions and the noise found in our world in 2013, that success in life probably requires greater focus for us than it has for any other generation. But all things are possible still to those who believe and put action behind that belief. Woo-hoo. Speaking of which, I've learned that believing is seeing, not the other way around. You must believe it if you want to see it.
That's right.
So I would ask you, what is it that you believe? Because you will inevitably see and live the things you believe. Some of us may need to change what we believe if we want to see things differently and see things as they really are. I've learned that the greatest blessings in life aren't bought with money. Picking up my 5-month-old grandson this past Sunday and seeing him smile put a bigger smile on my face than receiving some award or buying something. What you see in this picture is joy. So the point here is to take the time to see the world through a child's eyes, and you will smile once again, and laugh once again, and love once again more deeply. And all this adds up to more joy. I've learned that this dash called life is like a dream and can be taken from us at any time. Hence, we should stop wasting our time on frivolous things like backbiting, petty jealousy, gossiping, and allowing our negative self-talk to hijack our minds and our precious time. Be conscious of your thoughts And let's discipline ourselves to be kind to ourselves and to others. Tell those you love that you love them. You can't tell them that enough. Say sorry when you've done wrong. Ask for forgiveness from those you've offended, and attempt to right any wrong where possible. I've learned that there is an enormous difference between existing and living life is what I attempt to do. I've learned that, as the good book says, those who seek God early will find him. So I'm learning to get up earlier in the morning, to have some quiet solitude. This is when I read, write, ponder, and pray. In doing so, I hope to find him closer to me throughout my day, resulting in a more peaceful, meaningful day. Doing these things day after day will result in you experiencing more meaningful days, more meaningful weeks, months, and years. And all added up will result in you living a more meaningful life. I've learned that I'm happier when I'm laughing, loving, and serving, and that when I'm self-absorbed on living on me planet, as I previously stated, I'm irritable and unhappy. Therefore, I'm striving to laugh, love, and serve on a daily basis. I've learned that these last 10-plus years of marriage in some ways seem like 30 years because of how far we've traveled and how busy we've been. But I've learned that God blessed me with the just right woman. She is my biggest cheerleader. She's always believed in me. She's been my angel of healing. And I love her deeply, as I love our children. I'm so grateful for each of my children and each of my relationships. Finally, I've learned to trust in the Lord and lean not to my own understanding. I listen to understand his will for my life and to lead my family. He has a plan for me, and he has a plan for you. None of us will get clarity on what those plans are as long as we aren't putting him first, as long as we let the noise of the world leave no room in our lives for quiet contemplation, meditation, and prayer, and as long as we choose to not plant a seed of faith in our hearts that he can communicate with us and we with him. Finally, I will do all I can for as long as I can to support Mauricio, Katie, and MonaVie, but he also knows that I would give it all away if he asked it of me. I will leave the introduction of our new products and our promotions and trips to others. MonaVie is fun. These Jeeps look pretty neat. It's all good. But at the end of the day, it's never been about the fun, the trips, the cars, and even all about the product for me. It's always been about the people. And most importantly, it's been about Carrie and me doing what we said we would do, acting in faith that he would help us when we most earnestly sought him on our knees in 2004. He has answered our prayers as he will answer your prayers and supplications if you but believe and follow through on your end of the agreement. We live in a time where communication tools make it easier to communicate than at any time in the earth's existence. Yet we are a civilization more alone than ever. The world needs MonaVie, or more importantly, or accurately stated, each one of us who is in the world has a need to reach out for community, for love, for acceptance and validation. Yes, I love MonaVie. Yes, a more meaningful life is a worthy aspiration. In loving and serving our families and others through MonaVie, we can indeed live a more meaningful life and help others live more meaningful lives. The good news is that MonaVie can help fill some of this void deep in our souls and help us live a more meaningful life by doing what I've outlined today. However, my fondest personal hope, belief, and prayer for me and for all of us is that when this dream called life comes to an end, whether it's today or 50 years from now, we can return to God with honor, leaving nothing undone. I believe at that moment, we will realize how close he has always been. I said that MonaVie was a love story because it is. He never gave up on me. He has been with me as he has been with you. We will never completely fill the hole inside of our hearts while we are separated from him who breathed life into us. So today, I discharge once again the promise I made to him in 2004 that I will put him first and always speak of him. I have done so today. I love him with all my heart and pray that he accepts my words to you as I've asked for his help in delivering a message to you that would be meaningful and give hope for a brighter day. May God's choicest blessings be with you all. Let's continue this journey together to a more meaningful life, believing in the end that it will elevate us to a more meaningful place. I love you all.